tavern, big chest.
Oh, that's a good one.
So I don't expect that to happen again, because who could call that twice in a row? But we'll see.
Hey,
Well, we
we
do.
opened up with a Quake right in Link's house.
Yep, just a bit of cash at the sanctuary, though. And we're going to see AJ and sSab0tender both going to the Hyrule Castle route. Buane appears to be doing the same. Bowler is going to go visit the Houlihan room.
Yeah, that's a good strat to open up with. Get a nice cash flow early on.
Yep, not very valuable in in open mode, where cash is a little more plentiful, but in Keysanity, it's hard to get that early money. Although the uncle appears to have a lot.
Yeah, we're getting quite a few rupee drops early on.
Yep, and just to explain why these rupee drops are less common and generally what's going on, this is a link to the past, as you may or may not know it, but all of the items have been put into new positions. And in Keysanity, that means all of the small keys, big keys, maps, and compasses for every dungeon, they could all be anywhere. And so that means you can't really rely on finding rupees early on, because those drops might be keys instead. Just getting magic out of those tree pulls. And Buane about to check the race game, so we'll see what's over there. Checked it so quick, couldn't even see it. Lumberjack Ledge, though, just a heart container, so that's one chance of Aghanim knocked out.
I think it was just a big 20 over on the race game over on Bakar's screen.
Yeah, but the Turtle Rock Big Key is over in the dam. And Ether in the tavern.
Oh my.
What kind of cocktails are they cooking up? And we see our first bottle in town as well.
Yeah, that's gonna let him check the sick kid right nice and early as part of his early Kakariko checks, and sick kid turns up the lamp.
The lamp! Well, that's a convenient bottle then.
Yeah, that's good. No dark rooms here.
Yep, fortunately or unfortunately, depending how you want to look at it. And another bottle. And the mitts. And the Hera Big Key in Mini Moldorm along with the boomerang. A lot of early divergence, a lot of interesting finds.
We got flippers down in the well. We got the glove on the bottle vendor. All right, interesting. Got blue mail down in the well. Key to Turtle Rock. Bomb upgrade.
We're only 4 minutes in and it's already becoming a little tricky just to keep track of what's going on.
Yeah, a lot of route divergence, which is good because it's turning up value no matter where they go. Sabo's skipping the early Kakariko checks, but he'll get there anyway.
Yeah, just finding a couple early keys, which may or may not come in handy. We don't know yet. We need the maps to determine...
Oh my, we just got mitts in the Blind's hut.
Yeah, we have full mitts.
Oh.
Under 5 minutes. Now, I think I saw that the library was a sword, but I might have misread it. But if so, our runners are going to want boots sooner rather than later to get those upgrades. And of course, we're going to see a fair amount of overlapping thanks to all that divergence. Bowler is going to be our first to go into the escape basement. And finds a cape down there.
Yeah, it was definitely a sword upgrade in the library. We'll see where in the progression that one is, if that's going to be their first one or if just an upgrade.
Yeah, but at this point, there isn't a lot from the first sphere left for our runners to find. Basically, just Eastern content at this point, and I guess you can go to Agna over in the desert. But this seed is kind of pushing people towards, I would say, Death Mountain.
Yeah, you got some early Death Mountain access here, which is good. You have Old Man and Spectacled Rock, but that's about it until they find either a Mirror Hammer or Hookshot.
Yep, we could also see a play to do the rescue sequence, or in theory, even go as far as the first chest in Castle Tower.
That's true. We do have the cape, so that's on the table. The Hyrule Castle key was in the dam, so they could very well do escape. We could have something in the dark room in there. Bakar's going to check Agana, which is a good idea. Get that out of the way.
And ajneb shows us the little plaque in the Houlihan room for the 2017 tournament winner, and 3 guesses who it was.
Modesty.
Just a piece of heart on Hylia Island. We also do have those flipper spots available.
Yeah, so that opens up. You've got some chests in the back over in the waterfall cave. You got the old man under the bridge. You got the Zora once we get enough rupees, which we're actually pretty close to.
Yeah, that Houlihan play may be a good little nudge in that direction. Or you just keep robbing the old man.
I was gonna say Ben had a 401 rupees, which is my area code. That was a nice little shout out. Yeah, and Agana didn't turn up anything, so that's out.
Yeah, that's unfortunately a spot that runners try to route in when they're going and checking desert, but since it is Sphere 1, it can have pretty important things.
Yeah.
Sphere 1 naturally being the locations that you can access immediately when you start the game. No need for any item pickups to get there. You do need bombs, but those aren't considered item pickups as far as the logic goes.
And our first big key of Tower of Hera showing up in the Mini Mildoran Cave.
Yeah, you could argue that's more indication of Death Mountain, but, also
Yeah.
not quite. You don't have that mirror, you don't have that hook shot, you don't have that hammer.
Yeah, we still don't have a feasible weapon, but Bakar is taking our first visit up towards northeast Hyrule with Zora's Domain. So we got to take a look at Waterfall Cave. We got a small key to Misery Mire, and the big key for Ice Palace. And I was gonna say, if Bombos are a fire rod, and we're actually not too far from a Ice Palace play.
It would be dangerous, but doable.
And over on the ledge, just a piece of heart. Bakar is bouncing out. Doesn't have enough rupees.
Buane is about to gather up a few more rupees, maybe thinking that Zora play himself.
I wonder if Buane is going to check the plaque. Nah,
No.
I guess not.
We are going to see it move towards the hospital and probably eastern right afterwards.
Yeah, get some knowledge in here. Let's see what the green pennant today is.
T-Rock.
Ooh.
That can either be very friendly or very brutal.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, there are Skullwood's small key. Not a big deal.
And we got Buane going into the basement of Hyrule Castle. Gonna use bomb strats on these guards. He has enough that he should be able to make it work.
Yeah, you do just have to be a little precise with it. Get the timing and the movement down.
Yeah, he didn't check Mini Moldrum Cave yet, so he would have had Boomerang, which would make it a little easier, but he should be able to handle it with bombs.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Escape only had the map to Dark Palace.
Yeah, those maps are helpful. They tell you when a dungeon is a crystal or a pendant, so you can get that bit of intel. Of course, the exception is the Hyrule Castle map or the Ganon's Tower map. They kind of don't give you much.
Over on the left side of the screen, we got Bakar doing our first Eastern Palace dip and Buane doing our basement check. So far, nothing in the basement of Hyrule Castle. Actually, he just did get a small key to Pod, which is the one of 6 that is available in Keysanity. And the first chest of Eastern only had a map.
Yeah, 6 pod keys available. Depending on the item availability, runners may only need as few as 3. But you generally don't want to go try to clear it with fewer than 4, just to keep it safe.
Yeah, I believe 4 is the minimum you need to do a full chest clear of Palace of Darkness.
Yep, and that does require a couple of tricks that the logic will not require you to do. There are several bomb jumps that we may see today, but the logic is designed that you don't have to do any of them.
Correct, and we actually did just see the second Dark Palace key in Eastern. So 4 more still out there.
And just 1 chest here left to go. Unfortunately, our runners picked up lamps so early we don't get to see the little dark room strats. But doing any room dark, doing rooms like this without the lamp, that is a sequence break in the randomizer logic. It is not considered any sort of glitch or anything against the rules, though. So you'll see runners do them quite often because they can help out.
Oh yeah, definitely. When you're in Eastern Palace, this is one of the first ones you want to learn, just because it's a pretty easy dark room to learn. You just go in a square here, and once you learn where that pot is, you can nail it pretty easily. And it gives you access to this one last chest that Bakar is on the way to pick up.
Ooh, Bakar's going to be in a little bit of a sneaky spot. Manages to get the damage boost through, and is rewarded with the pod big key. So again, we don't know if pod is a crystal or a pendant just yet, but we're starting to get the equipment to do it.
Yeah, so we're still looking for our Dark World access. We still need that Moon Pearl. It's got to turn up somewhere. I think the only place we have available is Death Mountain, so I think we're seeing Bakar going up there to take a look at what the old man has today.
Yep, unfortunately for our runners, there is one spot in the Dark World where the Moon Pearl can be, and that's Pyramid Ledge.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what you have to do to get there?
So dance with the old wizard.
Now, granted, we haven't seen any Castle Tower keys yet, so that is unlikely at the moment, but it's amusing to imagine the trolls.
Yeah, we'd have to see something crazy like the old man and Spectacle Rock having both keys, and then like the first chest of Agnum's Tower being boots, so that they can get the sword. That would be pretty crazy.
Yep, or of course a
Or-
vanilla Castle Tower key.
Oh yeah, actually Buane's going to give us our first Zora check. That's something the other runners haven't been able to do at their times. Let's see. Old man has the hook
A
shot.
hook shot! So why couldn't he just rescue himself? Can't handle the hook shot speed in his age.
Yeah, he just can't do those hook dashes at his age.
Well, Zora just dishes out a piece of heart, and, as we say, a little life lesson.
A little part of love lesson.
Compass on Spectacle Rock, and an arrow upgrade inside. Not much value there. Gonna be more value over on the east side. Get those 7 chests in Paradox, the Spiral Cave, and if they find Moon Pearl, that's Hookshot Cave, Super Bunny. Good density.
Yeah, it's a really nice place to open up early. sSab0tender's gonna give. He was gonna see if he can do. He should be able to do. He's got bombs. All right,
Doesn't want
opting
to
opting
risk
not
it.
to.
That's perfectly reasonable. That is a tricky area to do with bombs as your only weapon. And there's the pearl.
Yeah, there it is, right in the Paradox Cave. So this is actually pretty nice because with the hookshot and the mitts, he can do a check of the eastern side of Death Mountain in the Dark World. So that's a nice little routing there. He can look at the Turtle Rock Crystal or Medallion and then grab Hookshot Cave. We got Flute also in the Paradox Cave.
Yep, toot toot indeed. This means there are actually no locations in the Dark World that our runners can't access. Getting over to Pod will be a little obnoxious, but it is doable.
Yeah, Flute, Mitts, Pearl, Hookshot, Flippers is the complete like Dark World starter pack.
Of course, a hammer would be nice, but
That would be nice, but they're gonna see some old-fashioned hookshot across the river routes or swim.
yeah, we have a small key up on the Lonely Island. We
Oof.
no clue what that's going to be, and we can't access it without a mirror. Now, of course, there are plenty of small keys that our runners are not going to need, either because they block something in a pendant dungeon that's not necessary, or, as the case with Meyer, there's a lot of duplicate keys that runners just have no use for. Or that could be a Crystal Swamp Palace small key, and our runners very much need it.
And in the Spiral Cave, coming down the aisle, we've got a big red machine cane.
So that's going to open up a couple of dungeons, and more importantly, just gets it out of the way. It's a very annoying thing to have to be hunting for later on. ajneb taking a little death warp, letting the fairy out, make sure it doesn't get revived accidentally. There's the Hera small key over in Super Bunny, and the D. So they still can't quite get to Hera. They still need a mirror or a hammer. But once they do, they can full clear that dungeon, no sweat.
And on Turtle Rock today, we've got Ether. So Turtle Rock is now available. He do have Kane, so we can start taking a look inside.
Naturally, we can't finish it without the rods, but you can get to most of the item locations without either of them. And there's a hammer. It's hammer
How
time.
convenient.
It's almost as if the game wants our runners to go to Tower of Hera immediately after this.
You have to say quit, which is such a bummer because you're right here.
Yes, but you do have a flute, so Bowler can go let loose the goose and then fly right back up.
Looks like he's opting to stick around while he's up here and just finish off Tower of Hera. So he'll be able to actually access all of the chests since he has the lamp and the small key.
Ah, yes, you do get the mountain cave available as a starting point once you free the old man.
Yeah, so at about 20 minutes in, Bakar's already going to be looking to take a coffee break at some point. So good for him. He's worked hard.
Yeah, getting a lot of items early. You know, starting to feel that load.
Yeah.
Having level 2 mitts, the hammer, the cane. It's got to get heavy after a while.
Yeah, but just not enough keys to point you in one like definite direction. Like Tower of Hera is like the obvious one. You can finish that and clear it off, but after that, if you don't get an obvious item from there, you have the panic of, oh my god, I have so many things I can do right now. And that's where Keysanity starts to take hold, where it's about your choices, your gambles, where you go. That's where leads come from and go. We got a map check down there. We got one of the 5/6 crystals on Pod and a crystal on Swamp.
Yep, so our runners will have to do pod after all, and they will need that swamp small key. Is it in the basement of Hera?
Oh,
Nope.
could be that small key on the floating island.
It very well could be. Our runners do need mirror to get to that dungeon in the first place, so that won't be a huge troll if they need the mirror to get the key. Though, as Chad is asking, it is possible that the mirror is on pedestal. I believe Swamp Palace is the only one where a mirror is required to access or complete it. So, that's not ruled out yet. And of course, until we know Skull Woods, there's always a chance of Fire Rod. Actually, no, I take that back. Turtle Rock is a pendant, so it can't be either rod.
Yeah, I think we're early enough into the race that to say that mirror is on pedestal is a chance I'm willing to take. Let's go for it. Let's get wild with this one. This is a crazy race between all these 3-1 runners, so getting a little excitement would be very interesting. They're already under the load of knowing that this is, winner goes to the big showdown next Saturday, and then the loser is out. So a lot of pressure.
Absolutely. And like you were saying earlier, when you get a lot of items, especially high value items early on, you start to find yourself in a little glut. A little danger.
Yeah, it's very difficult when you have so many choices. You then have to, it boils down to like how many checks can you make at like in one kind of pass without wasting too much time.
Yeah, having to double dip dungeons is very common in Keysanity, but that doesn't mean anyone wants to do it.
Yeah.
So getting this full clear on Hera all in one go is very convenient. Sure, our runners are pleased to look at it.
Yeah, so far Hera turning up nothing. The last possibility is that our friend Moldorm has something.
Yep, and they're gonna have to hammer strat it. Still no sword, although 25 minutes in, it's a little early to be saying still.
Yeah, we know where one sword is, we just can't get to it. Yeah, with 4 hearts and blue mail, Moldorm can be a little trolly.
Fortunately, those pots on the floor right below, most of them have hearts, so there's plenty of refill if it starts going south.
And to complete Moldorm with the hammer, it is 3 hits to his tail, and Bakar gets it very cleanly.
And is rewarded with the swag net.
And a crystal. This could be the other 5/6, or this could be a regular crystal. We'll see when next time he pauses. But from here on, it looks like his next place he'll want to go to is probably Kakariko, Village of Outcasts, and get a lot of those checks all out of the way. That's a very nice, highly dense populated location.
Indeed. No keys to Thieves Town means you can't get very far, but you still get 4 chests. You can get everything in Skullwoods before the boss region. And with those level 2 mitts, they can do a lot of sweep down towards the swamp and Hype Cave.
Yeah, we might see them give our friend the Smithy a world tour.
And ajneb going to probably do the same thing, but first,
Yeah. Actually, he's opting to leave Hera on the table and go activate his flute first.
oh, interesting.
And we'll see if he goes back or if he chooses to do village while he's here. Back or going up into Skullwoods, like you did said, yeah, you can. They don't have the big key yet, so it's 4 chests here that they can hop into. But we do have a big key to Swamp.
Yeah, fortunately for ajneb, fighting Moldorm doesn't get you progression, so no big deal to hold that off, but it is a crystal, so they will all have to do it eventually. And just a big 20 on the desert ledge. No big deal for now.
Oh,
More of a big deal is that sword. That was in Skullwoods.
and Ben gave us a map check, so the other 5/6 crystal is in desert. He chose to go out down there with his newly activated flute.
Yep, that's Meyer access. And sword aside, they have all the equipment necessary to clear it.
Yeah, no big key though.
Well, except for the big key.
Yeah, still good. I mean, if you're there, go for it. It's, if you can work that check-in. But no mirror means you have to leave desert out there, so I think Ben is just kind of popping around the overworld doing some looks. He's actually going to give us our first dip into the Meyer corner. Meanwhile,
Another sword in
Oof.
Skullwoods.
Swordwoods.
So that library bonk may not be too necessary, but
Not at
Tempered
all.
Sword is pretty nice to have.
And we had Quake over on Meyer, so that gives us so we know both Turtle Rock and Mire are open. We got Literacy over in the Mire Shed.
So that's desert access without the mirror. Rather convenient.
Yeah, fascinating. We're not too far off from both. Geez, both Desert Palace and Pod are pretty close. Desert Palace totally beatable, except for the big key. Oh, full map there. Ice Palace, another crystal.
And Skullwood's a pendant. Meanwhile, Buane has let loose the goose. We'll be able to fly around wherever he needs to go. And it looks like that will be to the Ice Rod Cave. So some runners like to hold off until they get a flute or boots, just to make the visit a little bit faster. It is a little bit out of the way. And Bakar going to dip into Thieves Town. Again, we don't have the keys, so these 4 chests will be it. In the Lone Arrow. A vanilla big key.
Oh.
Well, now we can finish
Well,
Thieves Town.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually don't remember the vanilla dungeon. I don't know if that's the correct chest, or if it's just French vanilla.
That it's a correct dungeon, just a little off. Is the last chest here on the left. Bakar is about to get that has the big key in the vanilla game. You can tell by its fancy carpet. You get third
This-
Dark Palace key.
Yep, small key this time. So yes, this puts Blind into play. It puts the Maiden Chest into play. It technically... Actually, I think it only puts the Maiden Chest into play. The game logic expects you to have certain small keys as well, because you could steal one and misuse it if it's in a pot.
Yep, the logic assumes worst key usage possible. And Buane gave us a hype cave check. Nothing important, just the small key to Castle Tower is the notable item there.
Yep, so that's the second chest in Aga Tower.
Yeah, you may see our runners work that in with the pyramid check or pyramid fairy check, depending on when they get over there and if they have mirror or not. But right now the rest of the map is pretty open to them, so we'll probably won't see that for a little bit.
And Buane heading down to the digging game, taking more of the southern route on this Dark World visit.
Okay, we got half magic in the bombable hut of Village of Outcasts. And I just want to take this moment as I'm seeing that all 4 runners are in 4 different locations of the world to give a big thank you and shout out to our 2 trackers, Shaw and Nithboy.
Yeah, commentating is a tricky job, but I would say tracking is much trickier, especially with our runners diverging so much on this race. And Buane gonna pick up the Frogsmith, do a bunch of village spots, and then probably save quit back a little later.
Now it's unfortunate that this Thieves Town dip comes without a small key, so they are leaving one big chest in the basement behind when they finish it. I've seen it before where that one chest has progression later on in the run, but we will see if today that holds anything important.
Like I said, I've seen vanilla level 2 gloves in that chest, and that's pretty important.
Mm-hmm.
That single rupee in the peg game, less so.
And Backer with a pretty clean fight with Blind, only 5 hearts and blue mail, and he's getting the big key to Ganon's tower from Blind, and it's a pendant.
A required pendant.
Alright, with Thieves Town being blue pendant, we now know the locations of all our pendants and crystals.
Yep, and which ones they are.
Correct.
So yeah, if our runners find out what Thieves Town is before doing the blind fight, that is going to be dangerous. Because they're going to be very, very discouraged from doing the actual blind fight. Because, hey, all it gets you is a pendant.
Mm-hmm.
And the necessary big key. And sSab0tender releases the Quacken as Buane heads up to visit Catfish. Get a little fish amphibian reunion going.
Yeah, that Thieves Town being required is going to be tricky. I mean, I don't expect that our runners know whether or not that's a pendant or crystal, and having gotten that big key, I'm actually kind of surprised to see Ben dipping out. He has all the tools to complete it, and it's a pretty quick dungeon to do, but it's going to be very interesting to see when he goes back, because that's not having Ganon's tower key is a huge time loss. We got a small key to Desert Palace though over on Stumpy. Yeah, that's going to be tricky. Once they find out it is Blue Pendant, the desire to go in and complete blind is going to lessen in their minds. A few things that are still holding us back from completing dungeons. Fire Rod is a big item. That's going to give us access to Skull, which is a crystal, and give us a little easier time completing Ice. They don't have Bombos either. And also the Swamp Key Small Key is another item we'll be on the lookout for, along with the Mirror.
Naturally. Several of those can end up being on the pedestal.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, with Turtle Rock, Skullwoods, and Thieves Town being our pendants, it's interesting.
Yeah. Again, that rules out Fire and Ice Rod being there, but the mirror can be, as well as any number of essential keys. We're gonna see Bakar going up to the pyramid, and then probably doing the same catfish visit. Just getting a heart container, but our racers are running pretty light on those. We see sSab0tender just has 4. Seed hasn't given them very good defense yet, but it's also not being very kind in the hearts. Almost as if it wants to make the run challenging.
Mm.
Am I cursed to commentate low health seeds? I have seen seeds where runners get almost every heart container. I think I've seen 18 out of the possible 20.
That's safety, all right.
Yeah. But yes, the last run that I commentated, they finished with 10 at most.
Wow.
So that's tough. Even with red mail, that Ganon fight can be difficult and dangerous with that little health.
Yeah, with red mail, you kind of in the back of your mind expect you have a ton of hearts, but you're not careful, those can go away pretty quick.
Yeah, and just for reference for those who don't play the game or haven't played it vanilla in some time, remember, you get to Ganon with a minimum of 14. So to get in there with only 10 is a little tougher than intended. Buane is going to go take the back half of Thieves Town on. Hopefully we'll go all the way to blind and get the GT big key.
And meanwhile, looks like Ben is going to dip into pod.
That's a fairly good play. There are a lot of items in there.
Yeah, he can do a full clear. He's got 3 small keys in the big key, arrow, bow, and hammer. So he has access to every chest except for the drop that you get from Helmasaur King. So that's a pretty dense population, and in pod usually holds a fair amount of value. But it's key sanity, so it's possible that there's nothing in pod. We'll see.
Always is. Yes, Ben will have to hammer jump to spare 1 key.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like we saw with Thieves Town, there can be vanilla small keys, vanilla big keys. So maybe we don't. Maybe this is all we need to clear a pod entirely. We see sSab0tender making the same play. And there's red mail in there, so a good play. Buane making his way, going to take on blind pretty soon.
Yeah, no swords though. If he went up to Skull Woods, he'd be going in with Master. So we'll get a look at some hammer strats, maybe cane strats.
Yep, fortunately blind is the one boss where it doesn't matter. No matter what sword you have, it's always 3 hits per cycle.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, no matter what weapon you use, if you want to use silver arrows, still 3 per cycle. Buane gonna hammer it. It's probably the trickier option available, but seems to be tackling it no problem. And there we go.
Yeah, with those hammer strats, Buane nails that blind fight, getting himself the Ganon's Tower big key. Meanwhile, Ben is continuing on in pod. First item of value there, Turtle Rock small key. Everything else has been the red mail and some cash.
And I guess the lunch today is a mushroom.
Ooh.
Bakar gonna turn that in straight away, see what it gets. Bombos!
Ooh. That gives us access to Ice Palace.
So we might have a required 3-step fetch quest.
Yeah, if he doesn't turn up Fire Rod before then, definitely.
Buane's about to get well armed. Bakar gets well read.
Awesome. And Sabo giving us a look in the back half of Pod. There was a shield, a piece of heart, a small key.
Vanilla key!
Ah. So
Like we were
Pod,
saying.
yeah, Pod very completable.
But opting not to hammer jump. That is one of the trickiest, perhaps the trickiest bomb jump in the game.
Oh, and the small key to swamp is in the maze of Pod.
As well as another T-Rock small key, making that dungeon technically completable on the key front. The game, again, does expect you to have all of the keys, but you can always rob the pokey and abandon the lava chest.
We had two shields in the back of Pod. And over on Ben's screen, you're going to see him do the hammer jump. Very precise, pixel perfect jump here. It lets you get to that. Over on Meyer, getting the Desert Palace big key for Bakar.
Yeah, Meyer's actually a better dip in Keysanity compared to Open. Because of all of the excess small keys that are in the rotation. So in Open, it kind of chews up a lot of your item spots, but in Keysanity, those become much more available. Still no way to skip this cutscene. And all that work to get a compass. Those compasses, again, will tell you when you're in the respective dungeon how many item locations you have and haven't checked, which is nice information to have if you're new to Keysanity or new to Randomizer, but for our runners, they're kinda useless. And we're gonna see Ben making the play all the way to the Helmasaur King.
Yep, he's here. He can complete it. It's a 5/6 crystal, so that's going to put him half of the way to unlocking the Pyramid Fairy and her 2 chests.
Yep, and it's worth pointing out our runners, except for sSab0tender, all have every bottle. Nice stuff to have if you're running low hearts. Get a bit of safety in. Sabo's also the only one shy of the Skullwoods play, so shy of a Master Sword. But that might be his next move.
Yeah, and Bakar bounced out of Meyer. Unfortunately, he didn't have the big key, so he couldn't finish it. That's one of the joys of Keysanity, is the double dip.
Yep, we don't know where that key is just yet.
Ben going into the second phase of Helmasaur King should be a quick finish here. Gonna give the old slash that kitty, and let's see what comes out of it.
The powder!
Ooh.
We have ground up the Helmasaur King's mask into a fine mist. And that does give us access to Batman. Also, that plus 4 bottles plus Swagnet. Very easy to get as many fairies as you need, and to keep your survivability up that way. Of course, our runners would prefer to just get a lot of hearts and not to worry about that, but you take what you get. There's another pod key over in Desert.
Yeah, and Ben taking that powder immediately to the Batman. Gonna see if this fetch quest results in anything useful.
We've already seen value from one of them, so
Let's go 2 for 2.
let's go for 2. There's a big key to Eastern.
Yeah, baby, that's good. Yeah, and Eastern is a pendant. He can complete it. Or
Looks like we have
crystal.
another shield over in Desert. A small key on the Bonk Torch. We don't know what it is yet. But our runners are likely to all get the Riot Shield. And if they find boots, they'll get all the swords, because there's the last one.
Wow, so butter definitely available, provided boots show up sometime soon.
Or ever.
Yeah, it's possible it's in Ganon's Tower. We'll never see butter.
Yep, I believe boots, flippers, mirror, maybe 1 or 2 other items that we commonly consider to be required items, depending how the item locations shake out, are not necessarily required ones.
Mm-hmm.
So, we may never see boots. We will see hammer, but we may never see boots. We are about to see what's in the back part of Escape, this big chest and then the Armos Knights. Big chest had a Ganon's Tower small key. You only really need 1 to make that dungeon go smoothly. So, everything after that is just gravy. And Tempered Sword makes the Lamulus fight not that difficult, but not as easy as a Fire Rod or Silver Arrows. A small key to Castle Tower. Not gonna need that. Our Aga Dream is well and truly dead.
Our pedestal dream, though, still on
Our
the table, I
pedestal
think.
dream. And I don't believe any of our runners did any Aga Tower check at all. I believe Buane started to and then realized he didn't have a sword. It was Buane or Sabo. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was Sabo who dipped in there and didn't get anything. But Buane, gonna go take a look.
As Bakar heads into the Ice Palace. Again, having Bombos means you can get through that.
Yeah, having Hammer, Cane, and Hookshot pretty firmly puts Ice Palace into the list of things he can do. So we'll see him finish this one out. Most likely Pod after that is another one he can complete.
Yep, the lack of small key means you do have to do the hammer jump or the bomb jump, not the hammer jump. That's a different dungeon. You do have to do the bomb jump to get around the small key lock door. Buane's not going to need to do bombos.
Whoa. Did I just see some rod action happening in Buane's screen?
Yeah, it got a little hot up there.
Interesting. I was just about to say it's possible. Maybe it's possible we don't see Fire Rod for a while, given that Skull and Turtle Rock are both pendants.
Yes, but with 2 item locations left in Skullwoods, plus half magic, Buane's looking at that as, hey, maybe this is a cue to go fight them off.
Yeah,
Though we-
just
Go
for
ahead.
those joining us as we reach the 1 hour mark, these are 2 matches taking place on the same seed. So Bakarbollar is racing ajneb173, and Buane is racing sSab0tender. They're all on the same seed. That's how we can sort of compare all 4 races at the same time, and they're all racing at 3-1 records. So the winner of the top and the winner of the bottom will get to advance to next week's big 4-1 race that gives one person the opportunity to move on to the bracket stages of the Keysanity Tournament.
Yep, that is going to be one massive battle royale.
Yeah, winner take all.
But for those who lose in these matches, there's still plenty to be proud of. They will finish this tournament with a positive record. And with the field that's been playing, that is nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of great players. That the 4-1 race is looking to be just phenomenal with the amount of talent that's down there.
Yep, and for asking in chat where the pod big key was, it was in Eastern Palace. But relatively early in that dungeon, so it was fairly accessible.
Yeah, and Sabo just finished blind, so he has the Ganon Tower big key now. Ben is the only one who doesn't have the Ganon Tower big key, and being that it is on blind, who holds a blue pendant, that is going to be something to keep an eye on for the duration of this race.
Yep, Buane taking on the Moth. One of the more obnoxious fights with those spikes, but makes it look easy.
And just picking up some arrows there and a pendant. Oh, we got
Oh,
Mirror
there's
over in the
Mirror.
ice.
Well, that's not on pedestal.
Yep, cross that one right out. So that puts Swamp Palace into his completable. Oh, actually, he doesn't have the small key yet.
Nope, we know where it is, though. It's in Pod.
Yeah, and I expect him to go to Pod after Ice Palace. Meanwhile, Ben is going up to finish Tower of Hera now, finally. He did opt to skip it when everyone else chose to finish it as they were in Deathbound at the beginning of the race.
Yep, we are fast running out of useful items that could be on the pedestal. Unfortunately for those who love to see a little bit of a troll. But we could always have the silver arrows there, which are not required, and if they are there, will make these Ganon fights much more exciting.
Yeah, seeing if the runners know that Skullwoods is a pendant, we may never see a pedestal check, which would just be the saddest thing. But just taking stock of all the items everyone has together, I believe the only thing we're missing is the big key to Misery Mire.
The Big Kingdomire and the Ice Rod, and that's go. Or that's no, at least.
We don't need the Ice Rod. Turtle Rock is
no, you are correct.
green pendant. So I believe it's just the big key to Mire and we're all set. Now, of course, that's us here in the audience in the commentary booth. The runners themselves all have various degrees of knowledge of what's required and what's needed.
Yep, so for example, Ben grab that powder, discover that it is necessary. Our other runners have no idea where it is, let alone that they'll need it. It looks like we are going to see a turtle rock dip. It's an interesting move.
Yeah, I feel like Ben's been doing a lot of gambles in this race.
And unfortunately, they haven't all paid off, but it is a big part of Keysanity to take those risks and try to execute well on them, whether they work out or not.
And another key 2 pod coming up from Cold Stare. Bakarbollar picking up his 3rd crystal. So he's going to have 4 or 5 pod keys there. So that's going to be pretty much a big fat arrow pointing him in that direction. And Ben's doing his turtle lock, so first we get a glimpse in the first chest, just a big 20. Doesn't have the fire rod, so he's going to skip the 2 on the right and go straight towards the back.
Yeah, we've actually now seen every small key in pod.
That's true, yeah.
Of course, our runners won't know that until they go to pod because one of them was in there. And the good old chain chomp room. Only spot where they show up and they do tons of damage. And
Just a nice little cameo there from Chain Chomps.
they just have to steal the attention, make themselves known. Hey, we're here.
Yeah,
We're gonna
it's
be
just-
annoying.
It's such a weird place for them too. Just so, like towards the end of the game of the vanilla game, these like 2 guys from Super Mario show up.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Buane in Ice Palace, the mirror shows up and he gave a little bit of rage to show how he feels about that.
Yeah, he's the only one with fire rod because he made that play into Castle Tower. Therefore, he's the only one that's finished Skull Woods. But we'll see if that puts him behind Sabo any. They're pretty matched up at this point. It's anyone's game between Buane and Sabo. I'd say Bakar has an advantage over Ben right now, just in terms of where he seems to be and where he's going and what he has. But anything can happen. It's the way Keysanity goes.
Yeah, we're missing that Meyer big key, and if that's here, then Ben made a smart play. Unless it's on Trinex, that doesn't help much.
Yeah, if it's on Trinex or Sarashala, then that is a huge troll from the seed.
Or in the Mimic Cave, that would be rude as well. But Sabo's going to make a move towards Meyer, probably check Checkerboard Cave, since he has the mirror. Everyone but Ben does.
Yeah, Sabo doesn't have the mirror. He hasn't dipped into ice yet. So left side mirror, right side 2 runners don't.
Yeah, like we were saying earlier, when you get a lot of valuable items early on, it kinda doesn't point you any one way. And that creates a lot of divergence, and that creates a lot of gambles. Obviously, some of them aren't going to work out.
Yeah, that's the thing with Keysanity is a lot of randomizer comes down to execution and routes and how efficient you can do things. Keysanity, I find, throws an element of luck involved. You make a certain check, you may get an item that makes your routing a little bit easier or give you an advantage over your opponent. So you may find something like Mirror that helps you check like smithy and hammer pegs and purple chests a lot easier than if you were to do that sooner. So it's really tricky.
Yep, and it's always possible for those gambles to mislead you.
Mhm.
Ben going through Turtle Rock, finding the shovel, about to check that spot. Now, if this has the Mystery Mire big key, that's quite the play. If it doesn't, oh well.
Yeah,
Oh
Buane.
well.
That should be the tagline of Keysanity. Just oh well. Like oh that chest didn't work out. Oh well. Oh that blind ped pull didn't work out. Oh well.
Well, Buane is going to give us a Swamp Palace play. Sabo again doing the full extent of Mire, except for Vitreous. And the big chest.
Yeah, Ben went back to check the big chest of skull, only finding a full heart container. He's close by to Thieves Town, so we'll see if he goes in to finish out the back end.
Yeah, well, if he didn't, he had to have knocked it in at all because the big key was in the front end.
Yeah, he dipped in and then I believe he left. Yeah, he dipped in and then did not
Okay.
opt to go deeper. But now he's
And
routing himself back in, so that's good. He'll have Gannis Tower big key.
I do believe we just saw silvers.
Oh boy. Oh, over in Swamp. That's going to be huge for Buane. He's going to give him a nice little advantage there for the Helmsor King and the Armos Knights. And Ganon.
Yep, and Vitreous.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure Ben is going to go all the way to fight blind. There aren't really other items of interest in here. So like, that's all the value that he's going to get, but it's a big value.
Yeah. I realize that Backar's the only one that has bombos. Where did he pick up bombos?
That was a witch's hut.
Oh, that's
He's
right.
the only one to have the mushroom as well. 'Cause he's the only one that's did the lunchbox. Did that fetch quest.
Oh, that is such a tricky one.
Yeah, fortunately, Bombo's not required. It doesn't open either dungeon, and Buane was able to find the fire rod and get through ice without Bombos.
Yeah, that's true. So it'll come down to see if. So yeah, Wayne's covered. He's got Fire Rod. As far as Ben and Sabo goes, it'll be interesting to see which they do. If they opt to take the lunchbox, they opt to dip into the castle tower, because they're gonna need something to get through Ice Palace. Right now, they have nothing.
Yep, and the obnoxious part is that both of those are things that you want to have a mirror for routing. But you're not going to get the mirror until you do one or the other.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just cruel.
Yep, that's one thing with Keysanity in particular. You have to be willing to work with a suboptimal route if that's what you've got. because the items that would give you the optimal one may be hidden afterwards. Does happen a fair bit with open modes as well, but in Keysanity is pretty commonplace. And there's the boots. The Swamp Palace left side holding das Boot, which also blocks off one small key in desert and the final sword over in the library. Now our runners don't have need of any particular small key. They can make do with what we've seen so far. But that butter sword might be worth going back for just to make the last couple fights easier.
And we got Sabo finishing up Land Molus, so that's going to be 2 pendants for him. Buane also has 2, having finished Hera and Ice. So, very interesting split there.
It looks like Sabo is going to head up to Castle Tower, which will get him the Fire Rod. So that's Ice Palace capacity.
And we had Bakar there in a moment of contemplation. We'll see what he's going to do. I believe he's going to take a look at Bat now that he has the powder.
Is going into the Dark World, so might not do that right now, but maybe. There are plenty of overworld locations that the mirror opens up.
Yeah.
A little obnoxious to get to without the boots, but oh well. Yeah, hard to say where the route takes you from here. Of course, Bat is the answer. That will get you into Eastern.
Yeah. Bat will get you into Eastern. He's here, so yeah, he's going to get the Eastern big key from Bat. And then he's got the ability to finish off Swamp. So he's just 1 Mire big key away from go mode.
And Argus was just 1 silver arrow away from death. As Buane clears out the swamp. We've now got 3 riot shields among our runners. Buane's still rolling that itsy bitsy one. That's going to require a pod play to pick up. Which, from the looks of it, did he not go into Eastern at all yet?
Yeah, I don't think he's gone in at all. That's kind of surprising, but given how quickly this seed opened up based on the items they got, I'm actually not too surprised.
That is true, but Eastern is the only dungeon that's in Sphere 1 in the logic. You can get there right out of the gate. So it actually has a good chance of having good items. But first, Buane goes to the library to get a bit of butter. Oh no, bit of tempered. The butter will be later. Has to go into desert. Eastern Palace Big Key is on the bat.
We got Ben doing a dip into Mire at this point.
Yes, yes, you have to have your bacon before your butter. That is certainly some manner of dietary advice. It is not dietary advice that I am making. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist, blah, blah, blah. Don't sue.
The views expressed on this Link to the Past Randomizer's run are ours and ours alone.
Anyway, Buane making use of those boots. Checking Bonk Rocks. Probably going to check the King's Tomb immediately afterwards.
So Buane having completed Swamp, we know that Misery Mire Big Key isn't in there, so starting to think of where else it could possibly be. I'm looking at Turtle Rock since we have so much access to it now.
Yeah, or maybe Pedestal?
If it's on Pedestal, that would be pretty sweet.
sSab0tender queuing up the bomb jump, but slipping into the pit. Oh well. Skipping past a big chest that he could access. Might come back later depending on his route. We know it's not anything important. And Buane giving the lunchbox a bit of a tour. Going to head on up to Graveyard Ledge. Then likely just flute or save quit to bring it down to this anonymous man.
Yeah, he hasn't dipped into Mire's Shed yet, so he could have worked Bombo's tablet in, but unfortunately, if he wants that, he'll have to go later.
Yeah, those tablets as well could be one of those last few important things that our runners need. Of course, we know there's only one important thing left, but our runners don't know that.
Oh yeah, so that's gonna factor in big time. They have a lot of things left to check. But I'm thinking probably Turtle Rock is gonna be on their minds.
Yep. But we already saw from Ben that there's not a lot there outside the 3 locations he couldn't check. Or the 4, actually. Going getting a mushroom. Not delivering it immediately. But again, that's just Bombo, so that's okay. Instead, going to do the fake powder.
That's a fantastic little minor glitch to perform in this seed. It's gonna pay off big time for him. He's gonna get that Eastern Palace Big Key.
If to do this, you need Cane of Samaria and the mushroom. Try to use the cane when you have no magic, do a little bit of menu trickery. The game thinks you have powder. And there you go.
Voila. So that's actually going to be pretty nifty routing for him. He's going to probably go finish off Eastern Palace. And that's going to put him in, that's going to give him the big key to pod. So he'll be right there to kind of get 2 crystals back to back.
Yep, it's a very niche trick, but for this run, works out pretty nicely.
And Sabot with finishing off Cold Stare there, having no problems whatsoever. So between Sabot and Buane, they're actually having quite a close race. Sabot's got all 6 pod keys.
No, I don't believe any of our runners have gotten... Actually, they haven't gotten all of the red crystals. Actually, no, Bakar did.
Oh yeah, so we still have
but
that
as
on.
yeah,
as a
but
location.
hasn't checked the pyramid yet. Yeah, Buane never even talked to sSab0tender. Dude's lonely. Over here in his hut all by himself? Like, come on, dude.
It's like, dude, it's been over an hour. Like, where have you been? Why didn't you come visit me earlier?
He's worried sick, you know? Of course, getting that bit of info now, Buane's probably gonna be happy that he didn't check Turtle Rock just yet. So yes, the 2 winners on these respective races will go on to the big Battle Royale 30-some person playoff to get into the actual finals.
Yep, 100 randomizer runners drop into an island, and they collect items.
Yep, that's how it works.
There's a shrinking circle that eliminates them.
Which is funny because as they get items, the circle of opportunities tends to widen up.
It's true.
Yes, Buane finally going through Eastern, getting a pod key. Going to get the pod big key in due course.
Looks like Ben is going to jump into. Let's see here. He's going to probably check the ferry. Yeah.
Setting up to do the waterfall, or the pyramid rather.
This actually works out for him too. If you want, he doesn't have mirror, so he can't. I was gonna say he could mirror into Castle Tower to get the fire rod, but that's not gonna work for him.
If he had done ice first, that would have paid out.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, he has no bombos, so that's fire source. Bombos or fire rod is holding Ben back from getting that ice palace access. I think Bakar has the same thinking. He's going to grab that giant bomb.
And what's inside?
Oh,
The Meyer Big Key.
That's huge.
That is no mode.
Yeah, Bakar's about to be in go mode.
So we actually had a seed where not only is the ice rod not necessary, but it looks like the fire rod wasn't necessary.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, so that's bad news for Ben. He doesn't have bombos or fire rod. So after he finishes Meyer, he's gonna be short that. Meanwhile, Bakar, once he finishes Meyer, is going to go finish Eastern, which is a quick palace since he's dipped in there before already, and then he'll be on his way to Gannis Tower. So time is ticking for Ben.
Yep, now going through Gannis Tower without the fire rod does make a couple rooms a little trickier. Definitely doable, but there are a few spots where your optimal movement is not going to help you at all.
Yeah. And good thing Ben has already checked all of the chests he could. He's going to check this big chest and then work his way back up to finish to fight Vitrius. And Bakar's actually going to go do Eastern Palace. That's good too. That's quick.
Yeah, Bakar somehow has managed to not find a single Ganon's Tower small key this entire run. So as chat pointed out, we'll have to dip into the basement a little bit to grab one. But from there, it's good to go.
Yeah, you don't actually need to pick any up in the wild in Keysanity because you can just do exactly that.
So yeah, with 126, really our go mode was about 120. This is a pretty quick seed.
Yeah, once it opened up, but closed up pretty quickly too. Although I definitely feel for Ben because that's quite a trolly spot for your Ice Palace access.
Yeah, as we were saying, a lot of randomizer in general and Keysanity in particular comes down to your gambles. And Ben unfortunately made a lot of wrong ones.
Oh yeah, Ben still has Swamp Palace to do, so he's actually quite behind.
Over on the bottom, neither of our runners have finished pod yet. Buane is there, but has not completed things. So they don't even have the means to go to Pyramid Fair yet. And with no silvers on Ben's side, just going to spin strats all the way through the eyeballs. Does have the cape, so it could play it a lot safer if he so chose, but whatever, be bold. And we saw a nice clean Argus off Sabo. Not going to use the silvers, but you spin with the tempered pretty fast just the same. We have Bakar getting through the mire. It is going to be his last dungeon. Ben coming back up to Death Mountain.
Oh, Ben.
Going up to Spike Cave.
Must still be looking for that access to Ice Palace.
Yeah. And Spike Cave is one of those, like we say, there's never a good time to do it. There's just a less bad time. And I guess Ben decided this is the least bad time.
Yeah, definitely. Keysanity is just so tricky. There are just sometimes where all the gambles pay off, and there are sometimes where just the wrong ones pay off, or none of them pay off.
Yeah, case in point, Sabo is going to make a Bombos gamble. There's not going to be anything necessary there, unfortunately.
I think Ben is going to take a look at Castle Tower now, which is good for him. He'll pick up that Fire Rod. But it's going to be too little too late, seeing as he is still 2 dungeons to complete, and Bakar is on his last one.
Yep, Buane meanwhile is 2 to go, and he's going to head probably to desert. But he needs to go to Meyer first. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Has neither of the big keys. And the desert one is in Meyer, so that's got to be your first move.
Yeah, that's kind of wild that the Misery Mire key, or the Desert Palace key, is in Misery Mire, and the Misery Mire key is in the Pyramid Fairy, whom you can get access to once you finish Desert.
And that bonk torch key was Turtle Rock.
Oh, that's definitely not a good key. That'll throw you off.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't lead him on a wild goose chase.
Yeah, Sabo got those boots out of Swamp, so he's checking Bonk Rocks, doing a couple of overworld checks he can do now. Yeah, Ben got the fire out, so he's finally over in ice. Meanwhile, Bakar is on his way to Ganon's Tower. Now, we did find the Ganon's Tower big key on blind, so there will be no game today. So if you guessed 0, you are correct. We're on the honor system, so I'm sure nobody's going to lie about if they said 0 or not.
It looks like Buane is doing everything around Meyer other than Meyer itself. Again, can't really blame him, but gotta make a different play. Ooh, pulling out the flute. Where is he going?
He is...
Going to T-Rock.
Oh. Thought we would get through the race without seeing a Turtle Rock dip, but we are getting Buane going for it. He's going to do it. That's going to be a lot of time, and he's not going to turn up anything.
Yeah, we saw Ben do it earlier. Didn't have the fire rod, so didn't do the 2 right side chests early on. If one of those has the ice rod, I think we're gonna see another boss fight that Buane didn't have to do.
Yeah, actually, this is kind of wild. The seed did not require a trip into Turtle Rock whatsoever. Yep, and Bakar went downstairs and got his small key of Ganon's Tower, so he'll be on his way to the Gauntlet. Meanwhile, Ben is going through Ice Palace. Buane is going to check Turtle Rock. He still needs the Desert Palace big key, so he thinks maybe something's in there. Unfortunately, we know the Desert Palace big key is in Meyer, and the Meyer big key is in the Pyramid Fairy. And sSab0tender is working his way through Palace of Darkness right now, going to fight Helmasaur King. So he'll pick up the powder from the fight, and the powder will take him to the Eastern Palace big key from the bat. So that's kind of where we stand with all our runners right now. Bakar, provided he has a just horrific showing against Ganon, should pick up the win here and move on. Meanwhile, Buane and Sabo still very close.
Yep, for our bottom race, neither of them are in go mode quite yet. So they don't know what they need to be doing and what's a bad gamble. So we could still see some leadership changes on that race in particular.
Yeah, in Keysanity, there's no lead until go mode.
Well, there's the Thieves Town small key.
Oh
And
boy.
another GT small key. I think he's getting the wrong hint. Or not.
Okay. I was going to be very concerned. I mean, anything to get him out of Turtle Rock, but...
Yeah. Honestly, I would have been like, Turtle Rock's a pendant. I don't want to finish it. I don't expect to. I'm not equipped to. And here it's giving me a small key that I would have wanted to have a long time ago. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that chest has what I need. It doesn't. Meanwhile, we have Bakar showing us a little bit of silver arrow strats on the Lamelas. Not quite getting the one cycle. That is a tricky shot to make, but gets him down nice and smooth. Now, Buane having all 4 T-Rock small keys does not need to rob the pokey to access this chest. Just gonna peek it first and then come back around. This is what I was saying earlier about being able to do these rooms without the fire rod. That particular room is way faster if you have it, but it's arranged that you don't actually need it to finish. The next room with the torch puzzle is a little trickier to do, but again, can be done. Just have to make sure you don't go slow enough that you end up despawning the whole tower.
Yeah. Actually, Ben's hit go mode, so he can actually finish. He can actually go mode Swamp Palace, so he doesn't have to do any other checks there. Still going to be a great time for Keysanity, but just not going to be good enough for this race here.
Unfortunately, by go moding Swamp Palace, he misses out on the boots.
This is true.
So save a little bit of time and then cost yourself a little bit of time. That's how Keysanity goes.
Yep. And Sabo is correctly taking the giant bomb to the Pyramid Fairy, who will reward him with the Meyer Big Key, which actually works out. But he still needs to take that powder to the bat to get that Eastern Palace Big Key.
And there's the Ice Palace small key. In the ultimate chest.
Keeping it safe. The nice key.
So clearly this means the logic does not require you to have that key.
Correct. Yeah, and Ben just going straight. He's not going to collect the silvers either.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
This time Swamp was actually a bad dungeon to go mode. Normally it's a nice one to do that. You save yourself a fair amount of time.
Yeah, in this case he's just going to miss out on silvers and boots, but...
Yeah, nothing required, but very nice items to have. Meanwhile, Sabo did get something required, namely the big key to Meyer. It's going to give him a nice bit of edge over Buane, who has done Eastern but has not done Desert, and so can't access Pyramid Fairy just yet.
And Bakar entering his fight with Ganon.
And folks asking how Ben fell behind, it was that Turtle Rock dip. Turtle Rock was just about useless. Unfortunately, it was hinted at fairly well throughout the seed, so both he and Buane got baited over.
Yeah, it was just a few different decisions that kind of seal the deal for Ben. Just, but it's Keysanity, so these are things you just can't like predict. No, he dipped out of Thieves Town, which would have given him the game to start with Big Key a lot sooner. Didn't get a Bombos or a Fire Rod, but oh, Bakar taking a Fallen Ganon. It's not over yet, guys. Buane, meanwhile, he's gonna go. Let's see, heading up.
Over towards Pod.
Hmm.
Or no, up to Catfish?
Is he? I think he. Yeah. Is he going for Catfish?
Or Pyramid. I guess he didn't do Pyramid. Maybe starting to get a little confused about where to go. But the answer is Meyer.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't want to dip in there if you don't. But yeah, I think he's got it. He's just gonna go check out Meyer. And Sabo is going to make quick work of Vitreous with those silver arrows. Just gone. Just takes out those eyeballs. So he is going to pick up his 6th crystal. He is just missing the big key for Eastern Palace in Ruby and Go mode. So what he needs to do is take his powder to Bat and collect the Eastern Palace big key there.
Ben's going back to T-Rock, going to check those two, Oh, actually no.
Yeah, Ben is going straight for Ganon's Tower. He's in Go mode.
Oh, Ben is in Go mode. My bad. Didn't notice he collected all the crystals. Thought he was making another one of his gambles.
And
But it is a little too little. Little too little too late.
And that's going to put Bakarbollar in first place and giving him the victory over Ben with an SRL time of 1 hour, 43 minutes, 17 seconds. That is a fantastic performance from him. We'll see if we can get him in for an interview.
Meanwhile, we do have Buane going through Misery Mire. Sabo is going to go clear Skull Woods. It's an unfortunate move in terms of getting what he needs, but... Oh. Is this a ped check? It's a ped check.
We're getting a pet check, guys. Sabo is given to us, and just couch cash.
Move along, nothing to see here.
And Bakar's comment of just wow. So he's going to be joining us momentarily.
Yeah, Sabo losing a little bit of time with this Skullwoods play. But if he's forgotten about Magic Bat or just doesn't expect it, this is a sensible move. Bat is one of those weird one-off locations, easy to forget about. I've seen runners go a full 15-20 minutes falling behind, not realizing they could do that.
Yeah, so Buane just picking up that Desert Palace big key, so he's gonna finish that one off.
Yep, that is the right sequence, and the longer sSab0tender takes with this moth fight, the more room Buane has to make up some time.
And we're joined by Bakarbollar. How are you feeling?
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
GG.
Hi. Oh, thank you.
How you feeling, man?
I don't know what to say. I definitely didn't see that coming.
GG.
Apart from that, that Ganon fall, I think that's the run of my life.
Yeah, you took down Ben. I mean, you see that matchup early in the week, and you know that's coming. What did you think going into the race?
I I didn't think I would stand much a chance, but I thought more about having fun and taking chances and yeah, just having fun with the game. I think. So for that reason, I think I was more relaxed while I was running. But I don't know. It's always fun to play one of the best, I think. Wow.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, two-time Keysanity, or rather Randomizer tournament champion Ben.
Yeah.
You took him down in Keysanity. That's incredible. Well done. It was a great race. You had a great race.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was a really rough seed in some points. That Bombos being behind the mushroom, then you got the purple chest. That's a terrible sequence, but you got that done quick and early out of the way, which actually gave him an advantage.
Okay.
Seeing as Ben actually took a while, he didn't get Bombos, he rather got the Fire Rod, which was in the castle tower in the second chest. So that kept him from Ice Palace for quite a bit.
Yeah. So where is Ben now?
He's on ajneb173.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so he should finish up in the next minute or two. He doesn't have silvers. He ended up go-moding Swamp Palace, so he's got to do the silverless Ganon strat.
Ah. Right. Oh, I don't know what to say. I'm a bit shook up.
Absolutely, take a minute.
Yeah.
You got Buane and sSab0tender still making some final checks here.
Yeah, Sabo does appear to be in go mode, having grabbed that eastern big key off the bat. Buane is extremely close to go mode, just gonna hit the pyramid. And then they're both one boss away from going up the tower.
Yeah, Buane is going to get that Meyer big key, and Sabo is on his way to the Armos Knight, so Sabo has a bit of an advantage here. Meyer being a little tougher to finish quickly, because you still need to get through the back half.
Yeah, but this is going to start being about execution. How well can they both handle what's coming up?
So Bakar, you're now 4-1, and you get to participate in the big 4-1 race next weekend. How are you feeling about that?
Very excited, actually. It's gonna be around 30 players or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's that's gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah. I don't think it's very likely I will advance to the next to the quarterfinals, I think. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's always fun to last another round, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll get to do one more tournament match than the rest of us. So it's a big testament to go 4-1 in this tournament with so many players. Great testament to your skill and ability as a runner. So it's gonna be a blast to watch that next week.
Yeah. Do you know what day? Or
I believe it is next Saturday. I think 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I
okay.
might need to be corrected on that.
Yeah, I haven't seen the details for that quite yet. We have seen Ben finish his run with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 47 seconds.
Yeah, under 2 hours in Keysanity, still a fantastic run.
So he should be joining us in just a couple of moments. In the meantime, Sabo is making that run up to Ganon's tower. Buane still has to get through the back of Meyer. So
Yeah, he's got those silver arrows, so Vitreous will be a quick fight, but Sabo still the lead.
And we have Ben with us. Ben,
Hey.
GG.
Thanks, GG Bakarbollar.
Thanks, GG man.
Thanks.
So we saw a lot of interesting gambles from you throughout that run, including the Turtle Rock one that wound up not paying out.
Yeah.
What kind of steered you towards making some of those?
I mean, I don't feel like it was such a gamble. I could get kind of everything except start of it because no fire rod. I don't feel like it was such a gamble. It's a lot of item. It is TR. It just bad that it got nothing in it. I mean, I guess that's the play that kind of costed me everything. That was a huge time lost. But I don't feel like it was such a gamble. Not in Keysanity, at least.
Yeah, very true. You never know what Turtle Rock is going to do to just make you sad.
Yeah. I don't know, I'm not sad.
But I will say, doing the Ganon fight silverless made that look very easy.
Anyone at silver?
Yes, that was actually in Swamp, and you just go moded right past it.
Oh, okay.
Same thing with Boots, in fact.
Oh, where were the boots? In
They
Swamp
were
also?
left side of Swamp.
Oh, wow, okay.
So it was a perfectly reasonable play that just made you lose out on those two items.
Yeah.
Which, that's Keysanity for you.
Yeah, it is.
So I've seen people joking that now you don't have to play Keysanity ever again.
I'm pretty happy about that. I mean, I do like this mode. I do really like it. I just don't think it's a good racing mode for a lot of reasons. I don't feel like there's that much rooting, and I don't feel like the good logic is always winning with those. Like, weird gamble can win, and I don't like that.
Well, you still put up a very strong showing in the tournament regardless. Unfortunately, doesn't get you into the last stage of the tournament, so fortunately, unfortunately.
Yeah. I guess fortunately it will give me a bit more rest before the next tourney starting. Most likely pretty soon afterwards, after the end, so I guess yeah, it can be good or bad.
Yeah, that's a 2v2 tournament, if I remember correctly. There's one of those happening.
I think there's a 2v2. I'm pretty sure there will be out a one that will start also at the same time, like the spring tourney.
Ah, right, yes. So, folks watching who have been enjoying this, you'll get to see plenty more randomizer tournaments in the coming months.
Yeah, that 2v2 one should be very interesting with it pretty much opening up to every mode, every difficulty, every option.
Right now we're seeing both Buane and Sabo in the gauntlet. Sabo about to head up to the Trolldorn fight. Buane just taking care of the Lamulas. Sabo obviously having a fair bit of a lead right now, but not an overwhelming one. Sabo getting some nice doubles in on Aga. And clears out that fight.
All right, I'm gonna let you guys finish on doing commentaries for this race. Thank you so much for commentaries, tracking the restream, everything in the 20.
Yes, and thank you and all the other runners for participating and making this happen.
Thank you so much. Have a good night or day, everyone, and see you later. Enjoy the rest of the race.
All right, see ya, Ben. Sabo
And-
is time to see Ganon. And Buane just getting into the Aga fight himself. So we did see Bakar take a fall to Ganon earlier. And
All right, I'm gonna leave you here. Thank you, a big thank you to all the to you, to you commentators and the trackers, and yeah, thanks a lot.
yeah, and thank you guys
Thank
for
you.
running. And congrats on the win again.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Okay, and Buane finishing up his ajneb173 fight, and sSab0tender entering in the about to enter the last phase of his Ganon fight. Should be able to finish this with silver arrows if he doesn't take a fall, that is.
Yep, that would be Buane's big saving grace. If Sabo slips, this becomes anyone's match.
Yep. He's got 2 arrows in. 3.
And that's 4.
Alright, and sSab0tender is going to win his matchup, advancing on to next week's big 4-1 race. He finishes the seed with an SRL time of 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 33 seconds.
Buane is going to be right behind. Looks like he's just going to miss the 2-hour mark, but going to come very close to it. Getting a double in on Ganon.
And that's going to do it for Buane. Buane finishing up his battle with Ganon. He finishes in 4th with official SRL time of 2 hours and 31 seconds.
Yep, just shy of that 2-hour mark, but still an impressive time.
Yeah, still very good.
So we will get both of our racers in from that bottom match to talk about how that went.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one wild seed, so I'm very interested to see what they thought. Yeah, so Bakar and Sabo both advancing on to next week's race. Will be next Saturday. So keep an eye out for that. Should see it on the Speed Gaming channel.
So yes, that final race, they came in under a minute apart. It's very,
Yeah.
very close.
And we're joined by sSab0tender. GG sSab0tender on that victory.
Wow, thanks so much, everybody.
So how did that feel for you?
I felt like I was playing from behind, like basically the entire race. Like my early game was so garbage, and I thought I was just trying to play catch up the entire way, and I honestly didn't think that I was going to be anywhere near where I ended up.
Well, there definitely were periods where you were playing catch up, but making that play to the Pyramid Fairy when you did helped you start to pull ahead.
Really? Okay, because I almost thought about putting that one off, but okay, it worked out for me. That's good. Cool.
Yeah, just so many. It was such a wild seed. Just the fact that you ended up with Fire Rod, and the way into Ice Palace was either that or going through the chain to get Bombos, which was purple chest would give you mushroom, and take the mushroom to get the Bombos. So that ended up being what kind of impacted the Bakar and Ben Reyes.
Oh, that's really interesting. I didn't realize. I was just about to turn in purple chest before I picked up the Eastern Palace big key there and just kind of left the chest there. Yeah, Fire Rod up in Castle Tower there. That was kind of an odd place for it.
Well, it was a good enough place for people to check out. Everyone except Bakar actually grabbed it at one point or another. And I believe the first one to pick it up was Buane, who is now in here as well. So Buane, GG.
Hey everybody, GG Sabo, great race.
GG, Buane. I can't believe it, man. I really thought you were going to crush me with this one.
Yeah, that's the nature of Keysanity, you never know. Yeah, I did not feel comfortable when Bakar finished in there. I said, oh, I must be way behind. Ben was a little bit before him and spent the next, I'm sure you did too, the next 15 minutes expecting a dot done any second.
Oh, you bet. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but you guys came 58 seconds apart. For a Keysanity race, that is a really good time.
Yeah, that is really close for a Keysanity race. I guess it made it kind of exciting for the chat to watch.
So yes, this now puts sSab0tender into the 4-1 mega battle. Buane does fall to 3-2, and that will be it for you in the tournament. Is that a relief, a disappointment? How do you feel about taking that?
I mean, I wanted to win, but I'd be lying if I said that I'm not a little relieved to put Keysanity on the shelf for a year or two, and maybe the next tournament that rolls around, if they do another Keysanity, I'll be in there. But let's do some relaxing open and standard seeds, practice NMG a little bit. So yeah, I'll ride off into the sunset now. I would have loved to play in the tiebreaker. That would have been a ton of fun. because you can't expect to win going in there. And there's going to be some wacky strats, I think, employed in that one. So that's going to be a ton of fun to watch. Yeah, I mean, it would have been great to win. Sab was a great player. I don't have any problem losing to him. You know, he proved today. You know, best man wins, close race, tough seed. But little relief there that I'm at the end of the tunnel finally.
Yeah, it's been a wild month of this Swiss round of the Keysanity Tournament. So, big thanks to everyone behind the scenes that helped set up with it. All the admins running it, all the people restreaming. Big shout out to Dark Shadows 59 for restreaming this race. All the people volunteering for tracking. Just fantastic work all around to make this a possibility, make this all happen and come play out. So, but yeah, definitely Keysanity is one wild format, and anything can happen, which makes it very entertaining to watch, but very stressful to run in.
Yeah, here. It is really stressful to run in. This whole race, I was just like pins and needles, especially as I said, you know, being behind early. I really thought that I was done for. But like, I can't believe I'm in this race off thing. That's kind of ridiculous. I don't think that I'm worthy. I think there are way better runners than me, so I'm probably just going to get creamed in it. But it's going to be fun to be a part of it, I guess. And I just wanted to thank you again, Buane. What a great competitor. One of us had to win, so thanks again. I'm looking forward to racing you here and there in the community in the weeks to come, I'm sure.
Yeah, GG to you too. You're a great opponent. You deserve to go on. You know, Keysanity, maybe you don't always feel like you've done the best, but hey, if you win a race against anybody, you deserve it. So hopefully you can pull it out and then the tiebreaker and go on to the brackets. Then you get to play even more Keysanity. That's a nice reward.
Boy.
Well, yes, it was a great pair of races and a great tournament so far. I'm sure, like, our viewers, if you want to see more really solid Link to the Past play, whether it's Keysanity, other randomizers, or NMG, as always, give our racers a follow. They're all clearly very good at playing this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And give a follow to our trackers, Shot and Nifboy. Did a wonderful job. One of the great things about this seed was just the way it opened up so quickly that all four of you were constantly in 4 different locations all the time. So I can't imagine having to kind of keep track of all that. But our wonderful trackers did it so well.
Yep, and on that note, we are just about ready to close out. Buane, Sabo, any last thoughts?
No, I'll just thank everybody who is part of the community behind the scenes doing all this commentary, tracking, restreaming, even just like little admin things here and there. Everybody who's part of this to make this stuff happen. Just thank you so much for making it a lot of fun to be a part of.
Yeah, it's been real impressive. All the volunteers, this whole tournament, not just today, but as we've gotten towards the end of the tournament, we've had some real packed days and fewer volunteers who have been available. So just really impressive that we've been able to get as many of these matches streamed as we have and have it go as overall smoothly as it's gone, really.
All right, well, again, thank you both for running. Congratulations, Sabo, on the win. And I believe that will do it for this match and this stream today. Tim, any last comments?
Yeah, like you said, this is actually going to do it for Keysanity today. There's no more races being broadcast, so everyone take a trip to the bar, have a long drink if that's your thing, and just unwind and relax. It's been quite a long time, and we appreciate everyone sticking in there and watching and supporting in every way. Bakar and Sabo, you guys get to go on. You're 4-1, so the next thing we get to look forward to is the big 4-1 race next Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern, where you guys get to join the likes of TGH, Prayer, Kyung, Aurora, Selga, Tear, Willard, ACM, okay, Dunka, Ack, Elminster, just so many names.
All right, we get the picture. I'm gonna lose. Okay, fine.
No, I'm just looking at this list like the okay guy. Just a ton of incredible racers. I don't know if there are enough streaming channels to show like everyone, but it's going to be I can't even fathom it. I'm just very excited. I can't wait for it. And good luck, Sabo. I'm looking forward to watching you in that race as well. You're a fantastic runner.
Cool. Thanks a lot.
So yeah, so that's the bloodbath we get to look forward to next week. It's been a pleasure commentating with you, Hupfun.
Same to you, Tim, and thank you to everyone who's been watching, both today and throughout the tournament. Until next time, take care.